Welcome to Skillzam, a cure platform, cross-skill, upskill, reskill, and expert skill. We are your best learning partner for life. Skillzam, keep learning. Welcome to Skillzam section on Define Computer. In this section, you will learn about the basic definition of a computer, also know better about the different generations of a computer. Define computer. If you're reading this right now, you are using a computer. Maybe it's a laptop, maybe it's a desktop computer, or perhaps even a smartphone. This may look like different, but they are all share the same underlying technology. The more we understand how that technology works, the more we can use the computer around us to help make our world better. Computer is a digital electronic device or a machine that can be programmed to carry out a sequence of arithmetic or logical operations automatically. Computer has the ability to store, process, and retrieve data. Computers rely on a binary system that uses zeros and ones to complete tasks such as storing data, calculating algorithms, and displaying information. Building blocks of a computer. Every computer takes an input data, stores and processes it, and outputs results in some desired format. 5 generations of a computer. Generation in computer terminology is a change in technology a computer is or was being used. Initially, the generation term was used to distinguish between varying hardware technologies. Nowadays, generation includes both hardware and software, which together make up an entire computer system. There are 5 computer generations known till date. First generation, 1946-1959. This generation was based on electronic valves, also called vacuum tubes. It was unreliable, supported machine learning language only. It was very costly, generates a lot of heat, slow input and output devices, huge size. It always needed an AC. It was non-portable and consumer used a lot of electricity. Some examples like ENIAC, UNIVAC, etc. The second generation of computers from 1959 to 1965. This generation was based on transistors. The replacement of vacuum tubes by transistors saw the advent of second generation of computers. However, they were hugely superior to the vacuum tubes, making computers smaller, faster, cheaper, and less heavy on electrical use. They still relied on punched cards for input and printouts. The language evolved from cryptic binary language to symbolic assembly language. This meant programmers could create instructions in words. About the same time, high-level programming languages were being developed, like the early version of COBOL and Fortran. Transistor-driven machines were the first computers to store instructions into their memories, moving from magnetic drum to magnetic core technology. The early versions of these machines were developed for the atomic energy industry. Some examples include IBM 1620, CDC 3600. Moving on to the third generation of computers from 1965 to 1971. This generation was based on integrated circuits, that are ICs. By this phase, transistors are now being miniaturized and put on silicon chips called semiconductors. This led to a massive increase in speed and efficiency of these machines. These are the first computers where users interacted using the keyboard and monitors, which interfaced with an operating system, a significant leap from punched cards and printouts. This enabled these machines to run several applications at once using a central program which functioned to monitor memory. As a result of these advances, which again made machines cheaper and smaller, a new mass market of users emerged during the 60s. Some examples include IBM 360 series, Honeywell 6000 series, PDP, which is nothing but personal data processor. Fourth generation of computers from 1971 to 1980. This generation was based on VLSI, which is very large scale integration circuits. This evolution can be summed up into one word, that is Intel. The chipmaker developed the Intel 4004 chip in 1971, which positioned all computer components, CPU, memory, input-output controls into one single chip. What filled a room in the 1940s now fits in the palm of the hand. Intel chip housed thousands of integrated circuits. The year 1981 saw the first ever computer IBM specifically designed for home use, and in 1984 saw the Mac introduced by Apple. Microprocessors even moved beyond the realm of computers and into an interesting number of everyday products. The increased power of these small computers meant they could be linked, creating networks. Major advances during this period have been the graphical user interface, the mouse, and more recently the astonishing advances in laptop capability and handheld devices. The fifth generation of computers from 1980 to the present day. It was based on ULSI, which is ultra large scale integration, artificial intelligence, that is AI, and parallel processing hardware. AI is a reality made possible by using parallel processing and superconductors. Leading to the future, computers will be radically transformed again by quantum computation, molecular, and nanotechnology. The essence of fifth generation will be using these technologies to ultimately create machines which can be processed and respond to natural language and have the capability to learn and organize themselves. In this section, you learned about the definition of a computer and its 5 generations. Thank you for learning with Skillzam, and never stop learning.